Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Think RBA podcast. We are your hosts, Hack, Ken, and I am Matt. And let's just jump right into it. We are going to talk about the origins of Think RBA. Gentlemen?
What a story. Heck. So,
Man,
there's only one correct way to tell this story. Well, there's multiple variations of the story.
That's true.
And it has a timeline.
That's true.
But there's only one way we can actually tell this story, right?
That
And for that story, we need a prop. So do you want to get the prop?
it is the main.
It is the
It's the nucleus.
the nucleus of the story.
All right,
So you want to get the prop for us?
ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. I put a.
Oh, all right. This beautiful, old, worn out basketball.
It all started with an orange basketball.
It all started with this basketball right here.
That's it. How many years ago?
Gosh, 13 years ago?
Yeah.
13 years ago.
2010.
Yeah, 13 years ago.
2010.
About a year after the two of us met. So Think RBA is not just a story about how we came up with a name for a podcast, right? Because this goes long before podcast.
That's right.
This is a story of friendship, brotherhood,
Yeah.
of Okada-ness, like everything.
This is the story
wrapped
of
into
brothers also clashing.
clashing.
All that.
I just met them last week. So
All that.
So I'm gonna tell my version of this story, and then I want you to start filling in the gaps.
All right.
So Matt, because I don't even know if Matt fully knows like the whole depth of this story, because Matt came into the timeline later.
He did.
We're gonna get into the Matt years after that, but
wow.
The mad introduction.
So-
I can't wait for that one.
so we met at Georgetown, 2009,
Yeah. Grad school.
grad school, and
Innovation
fateful
and creativity.
Innovation and creativity. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought?
In the summer. I remember this.
Look at us now. Summer of 2009. And you got these two kids sitting in the back of the classroom that on their surface could not have been more different.
That's true. We
Could
didn't
not
even
have
sit
been
near
more
each
different.
other. None of that.
Right. But we both were sitting in the back of the room. And we got this guy, this Indian guy, this white guy from Pennsylvania sitting in the back of his classroom. A couple classes in. I think we were forced to work in a group on something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And somehow it came up that you like rap.
Yep.
And I was
Jersey
like,
representing, right?
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. This guy, he so I was like, oh, I got something in common with this guy. Let me see. Then come to find out, he plays ball. Okay. So I haven't played ball in a while. It's been a minute, but let's play some ball. So we started with just one-on-ones.
Yeah.
So one-on-ones with this ball right here. This ball was the beginnings of it. Now, this ball had a lot more grip, a lot more color to it back in 2009, 2010.
So let me add one thing to that. We played one-on-ones for a whole
while.
year and
Yeah.
a half before even
Right,
bringing anybody into this.
right. So we were playing one-on-ones at the 4 Mile. We were playing one-on-ones at Georgetown campus because
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not really ready for.
Dude, I was trying to get you to
I
play
know.
like random
But-
people.
But we started playing randos
We did.
after that.
When you were ready. We did.
Yeah, we started after that. But there was one fateful night. It was sometime in 2010, about that year-ish
Yeah.
into, and we're using this ball. And finally, I had enough of this ball. I was done with this ball, man. The lack of grip, and I was just like, bruh, like, can we not afford a new ball? Like, one of us, right? We both have similar careers. One of the two of us should be able to afford a $20 basketball. But yet we're using this, what I called at the time, piece of shit. Right? And as I'm saying this, And I'm cutting a whole promo on this ball and how terrible it is.
Oh yeah,
Talking about how worn out this is.
dude. I genuinely felt like his dislike of
Yeah,
this ball.
it was a dislike of the ball. I mean,
Yeah.
and to a certain extent, I was like, bro, you can't upgrade. Like, what's going on? And then this man deadpans me and just goes, RBA. And I was like, what? What do you mean RBA? What does RBA mean?
So wait a minute. You never said that beforehand.
Never.
It was an instinct.
It was an instinct to me complaining
Like a
about this
reflex.
ball. And this man just deadpans me and says, RBA. So for those who are tuning in, probably don't know us for nothing, but wonder what in the world RBA is. What is RBA?
You got that? Go ahead, man.
RBA stands for Real Ballers Adjust. Greatest quote ever. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wow.
That's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
He said it's a GOAT quote.
It's a GOAT quote.
Real ballers adjust. That's all I said. He said, what do you mean RBA? Real ballers adjust, bro.
Right.
Should be understood.
And then he goes on to tell me, if you can ball, you can ball with any ball.
Correct.
Facts.
If you can ball on any rim.
If you a hooper, exactly.
You could have the nice indoor rims. You could have the street ball double rims. This man started talking about in Jersey, the cracks on the court with the grass growing in the cracks, and having to RBA it on those courts.
Yep.
So he starts going in on me now. He done turned the whole thing around on me and RBA. Yeah. And I'm like, what is this RBA? But like, I'm like processing it. I'm like, wow, this is okay. Real ballers adjust. Okay, like I can see, like that's deep. That's deep.
Right. So like, if you a true hooper, there's no complaints, right? If I can hoop and my shoes are worn out, doesn't matter. Real ballers adjust. Ball, hoop, court, whatever. Bucket is a bucket. A bucket doesn't care what your shoes look like. Don't care if you're wearing bronze or Kobe's or got holes in your shoes. A win is a win. A bucket is a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that.
Oh, because of this ball.
All because of this. This beautiful, probably my first baby.
Before your real
Before
babies.
my real babies. It's my first baby. Hey, listen. This thing, I have a deep relationship with sports. Like, it's personal. Like, it's so personal to me, sports. And this ball is like, think about it. This ball brought us together. This ball got me linked to so many different types of people that I never in my life would have linked up with. I would have never met outside of ever in life. We met on that court because of this ball.
Mm-hmm.
So this baby, it's all our babies, really, brought us all together.
Actually, mine's the hyper grip.
Okay.
So then we fast forward.
Right.
So Hack and I were just continuing to wear out this ball
Oh, yeah.
for years and years and years.
Yep. We stuck
Good
with
old
this.
4 years or so.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden one day, wintertime, it was cold.
It was October.
Because RBA.
It was October.
It was
October. It was fall. I remember.
it was late fall
Yeah,
though.
I remember the
it was a little
weekend
chilly.
too.
But before that, right before we met you, though, you and I made RB as like, we ingrained that as part of our life. So we took that with everything, right? Doesn't matter what it was, basketball related or not. It was RBA, bro.
But
RBA, bro. So it
Right.
became like a thing in our life that we applied it to everything.
if I started complaining to him, he'd be like RBA.
And vice versa, right? Bro, RBA. You said that to me. Turned around on me.
Right. It had nothing to do with ball.
Right.
I'd be like, I'm just having a bad day. Somebody made me mad. Somebody cut me off in traffic. He'd be like, RBA.
That's right.
RBA.
So
then
let's bring this man
late
into
fall.
Late fall.
So I just want to say from our perspective, and then I want to see what it was like from your perspective. Okay. So because we already had, now we're 4 years into our friendship, right? We're now best friends, having bonded over this ball, right? You're talking about a guy who immigrated here from halfway across the world, right, to Jersey, to end up in Virginia, to bond and build his best friendship with a guy from the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, over basketball,
What are the
which is
chances?
crazy.
What are the odds?
And then that one fateful night late fall, but it was cold outside
It
because
was.
we would ball rain, snow.
Dude, we balled in monsoons.
We balled in everything.
Yeah.
And then that one night, these two guys roll up in a car. And by this point, we had been playing some randos. Yeah, no, so I remember.
That's what he.
No, I'm telling you from what I remember. I remember the first night it was you and D came up because I remember seeing the Giants. Because Hack was a Giants fan. I was like, oh, who's the Giants fan that's rolling up on us? Because D came up, I think it was the green car, blue car, whatever it was. But he came rolling up. And these two guys, like, come on the court, like, oh, we gonna ball with these guys. We gonna run these guys. Because, right, it's an Indian guy, a white guy, right?
Not your typical.
Stereotypical. But little did they know.
On-court look.
I'm about to be a meme with my faces, bro.
Little did they know. So, but that was Matt and our other friend D, and Matt has withstood the test of time. Many have come and go throughout the RBA years of our ball group, but Matt has withstood the test of time here with us to talk about, brotherhood and friendship, that be part of this whole RBA, thing that we got going on. So that was from my perspective. I remember y'all rolling up.
All right. Let me fill in on my perspective on that. There's a slight deviation or variation. So I remember that day when we met him, you and I were hooping elsewhere. And we were just doing our thing, hooping, and we spent that whole day hooping. I remember we're like, all right, let's go. That court started getting packed, and we're like, oh, we need to play and just kind of work on it. It was just you and me. We rolled up at Barcroft, 4 Mile.
Yep.
These two were already there.
Oh.
When I recall. These two were already there, and they were hooping on the other side, the side we like to play on. Mm-hmm. And we're like, all right, let's just play here. And we were just minding our own business. And then suddenly, these two guys called out and said, hey, you guys want to play twos? I'm like, all right. We just looked at each other like, all right, let's go. Right? It's fine. We ran everybody else earlier.
If y'all want to.
We just, well, let's run these guys too. But here was the thing, though, what I recall very, very distinctly. They had this look in their eye and their face, like this false sense of confidence or overconfidence that they were going to run us. And that kind of like, you know how it is, right? It irritates me. It irritates us. And all right, let's go.
So we're like RBA.
And we RBA. We just looked at each other. We didn't even talk about it. Let's go. And here's what I remember about that game. We busted them up so bad. 4 to 5 games in a row. But here's the best part about it. In the middle of the second game, I started teaching him how to play the game.
You had to bring that up.
I started telling him how to play better.
This man, and he told my boy too. He's like, bro, you want to guard him like this,
right?
And then you were like, hey Matt, you better on your
force
jump
some
shots.
left,
yeah. And this is the first time we met.
Force some left.
It was like,
I'm just trying to help him.
So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matt, and I guess
I'm not done.
No, we're gonna be done. We're gonna be done. I'm tired. Give me the ball, man. Give me the ball.
You couldn't get it then. You can't get it now. So I remember we oh my God, dude. We ran them bad. And then I remember in the middle of the play, this one play, it was a give and go, our typical G&G, right? Or GG. Mm-hmm. I gave it to you, I rolled, and I went, and you gave it back to me. When I caught it and I put it in, I said, touchdown. Right? And I remember D saying, I mean, they're beating us. I remember this.
Yeah.
Right? So, all that to say, bro, why are you so overconfident?
Actually, that's not what stands out to me. It's not the overconfidence. What stands out to me is that, because we played a lot of games that night.
We did.
Right? And at the end of it, he did not leave, like, and D as well. Like, they didn't leave pissed off.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. They took it on the chin.
They took it on the chin, and we're more like, oh, let's make friends with these guys.
Yeah, it was more respect than anger or like bitterness.
Right. And that's where we kind of like, okay. And then as Matt, and I know you're about to tell your side, but then as Matt continued to hang around, it's like, oh, okay, Matt's RBA.
So I never told you this, so you're gonna hear it for the first time now.
Oh man, does he need tissues? Is he gonna cry?
He fine.
What?
So after that night, I remember telling Ken, Ken, these guys are good energy. Like I like their energy.
Appreciate it.
Right, like because we've come across a lot of randos, but you guys had a different kind of energy, which I respected, and we liked that. And we were like, I hope we see them again. Like they were cool guys. Like I wouldn't mind playing with them again.
Yep.
I mean, it's gonna be the same result, but I wouldn't mind playing with them again because it was just good practice.
Yeah. So pass the ball to Matt.
So Matt, I'm gonna give you the assist.
We need your perspective from that night.
You might throw that ball at us.
So, they forgot one more person in the story, and his name is Ruben.
No,
He was with us.
Was he there?
Yes, he was.
I haven't seen Ruben in so long.
Yeah.
I forgot about him.
Man got a long hair, but that's not. We'll get to the point. Me and D and Ruben were on a 6-game winning streak. A 6-game winning streak, ladies and gentlemen. They and them. I'm not trying to get nobody upset. We were on a 6-game winning streak, and we like, you know what? We're gonna continue this winning streak. We just like, all right, we feeling good. Let's just go ahead and play who's next. That's it. Play these two. The last time, at that time, I got crossed up. I was 9 years old. I never said I get crossed up again. Hector said, "Well, I guess that's a lie." Crossed me up. My ankles hurt. Nah, I never told you that. My ankles hurt. Yeah, my left one did. I felt like I was doing the mashed potatoes by James Brown. But so it's like, but at the end of the day, that's what happened. We were on a 6-game winning streak, and then these two just ended up being my brothers from another mother. So I appreciate this ball a little bit, and I appreciate the, hopefully I'm saying this, I'm wording right. I appreciate the fact that we were just hungry to get exercise and play people in basketball that night. Because that's what really drove us.
Yeah, we got better as players and also as people because we learned a lot about each other and from each other. So that's why, this is why like I have such a deep connection with sports. Period.
Right, and again over time, it was like it evolved over time to where it's like, oh, Matt's gonna keep coming back for more, no matter how many times we bust him up.
I can respect that,
right? No matter how many times, it's like he's still showing up every single time. Like he was more consistent than anybody else that was participating at that point in time.
Some people, like, they get busted up and they just leave the court.
Right. And, you don't hear from them or whatever the case is. But Matt continued to show up, continues like, I'm RBA. And I was like, oh, this guy's and then eventually we dropped the RBA to Matt. Do you remember the first time?
But I think we were saying it to each other, and he's like, "What's RBA?"
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah, I wanted. So we were at Jenny Dean, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And that's where we made our stomping ground on practice and everything.
Yeah.
And we were all. Were we doing the 21 that night? Or were we playing against randoms?
I don't remember that.
And we stayed late, and then y'all dropped RBA, and I'm like, "What's that?" What's that? Like, I got really intrigued. And I'm like, look, I'm a Bruce Lee fan. B Water and RBA go hand in hand, man. Those are great quotes to live by. And after that, it's just been a wrap. I say RBA when, a farting wrong RBA because it's bad.
What?
Bro, come on.
Hey, man.
We were going like this.
We were on a good trajectory, and then boom. So what they're going to learn over time is that we never really know what's going to come out of Matt's mouth. And, he's like the little brother that neither one of us ever had. So we're going to clown him a lot. I don't know. One of these. We're going to clown him a lot. But at the same time, we also have no idea what he's going to say. So there's going to be a lot of shaking our head. And
yeah, you already did it once.
Yeah.
But anyway, the way that we use RBA and the way that we really go into it, you all will learn and love it. It's just as much as I do. So I'm going to pass the ball back.
So that's a great transition. Any more pieces to the story that anybody feels are left out? Key moments?
Not to the story. And then from there, I'll say that RBA grew.
It did.
Right? Our crew got like almost 20, 25, 30 deep at one point. And then a lot of guys moved out, but it became like a normal, regular thing that it just caught on, and RBA just became a thing. Like, and people would just randomly say it, like RBA, And we're like, whoa, this thing caught on.
Right. All from us saying it.
All from here.
So what I want to ask y'all is to kind of transition out of the story to today's time and also into the future. But what does RBA mean to you?
Go ahead. Let's start off with you.
All right. So, as I already mentioned earlier, RBA means to me is legitimately the twin and the brainchild from Be Like Water. If you don't know what Be Like Water stands from, is Bruce Lee's quote of shaping and forming anything when you need to, and being the water in the kettle, being the water in the glass, being the water that's flowing through and over. And the way that we go about it is we always gotta stay true to ourselves and just be in the moment. So we are on a carpe diem. We are, I hate to say this one, but they still say it, YOLO. They do. We
showing his age.
Man,
Got them grays coming in.
yeah, I do.
Hey, it's okay.
It's all right, man. It's all right. It just comes with wisdom
It's
and
called
taxes.
Texas.
But get to a point. It's a beautiful phrase because about how they involve RBA, and then you will see, like I said, down the line. I can't preach this enough that it is a great metaphor, simile, idiom, and statement to live by and live for.
Man, I thought he was gonna drop a bar over here.
No. Bars.
Nah, Matt, I that was nice. That was nice. The Bruce Lee thing really, that's pressure to live by.
Mm-hmm.
To me, RBA is basically that, right? That the water analogy, where water never loses its foundation, but it can morph into anything. It can be destructive. It can be calm. It can be pleasing. It can be anything, right? And everything. To me, what RBA also is, what I tell the kids that now we're player coaches. What I tell the kids is, when you're playing basketball, the ref's not going to blow the whistle when you want him to. You got RBA. You got to fight through that. That's what RBA is. Instilling that mentality that life is not fair, and it's not going to be fair. So if you're looking for someone to hand out or help, no, you got to get it done. However you get it done, you get it done. And then you don't look around for, that who's gonna come help me? Who's gonna bail me out? So I have this thing, like, I joke around with Ken about how the Gen C, Generation Cupcake, right? Because a lot of that fourth place prize, that fourth place participation trophy, I'm not with that. I think that teaches bad habits. You don't learn to overcome adversity.
It does.
So RBA is right. Real ballers is not just basketball. It's life. It's that mentality that in life, like, it's not fair, and you can't look around waiting for someone to come make it fair. You got to go out and get it done. However it is you get it done, whether it's my ankle hurts, my knee hurts, I need this last bucket, or whether it's, man, I got it, my bills are due. Whether it's I got an exam tomorrow but I'm working a 14-hour shift, you just got to get it done. That's life. And those who do it come out on top. And when those people come out on top, they are so much way ahead of that guy or that person who went around and looked for help and looked for a handout and looked for that shortcut. There's no shortcuts in RBA, period.
Actually, can I add to that? I think we all can agree with that. It's not necessarily the help that's the problem. It's the shortcut. And then the continuance of, I'm not going to be able to do it. That's the problem. Am I right or wrong?
Right. They're constantly seeking or expecting someone to help me, hand holding,
yeah.
Give me a shortcut. Let me find a shortcut. No, we grind. And I always say success follows the grind. Which is also, I heard a great quote from Dion the other day. He said, I practice like I play. So when I play, it's like practice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a bar. It's beautiful. Right. And I want to give that to the kids. So that's my interpretation of RBA. And sometimes people take it extreme, but I don't know how to turn it off. That's just me. I don't know how to turn off that. I'm a competitor. Like, even when I play with my son, he's like, "9." I told you ain't gonna beat me, bro. Like, and I don't let him beat me. Because if I let him beat me and he expects, oh, dad's going to take it easy on me, the world doesn't care, because I told him outside of those doors, no one cares about you. You're going to have to fight for it, bro. So let me teach you how to fight for it. If you beat me, now you're ready for the outside world. That's my message or interpretation of RBA without getting too long into it.
It is really hard beating them.
I mean, so I think for me, RBA is a good, quick acronym that serves as a reminder for resiliency. And especially the world that we live in now, with the stigmas around mental health and stress and everything else starting to come down. Those walls are starting to come down. And I think that, to me, RBA is a reminder of that. No matter what circumstance you find yourself in, whether it's by your own doing or not, right? You have the ability to be resilient and adjust and figure out to what's going to be my next move,
right,
to try to change the circumstance for the better.
Right.
And I think that there's a balance with like recognizing how challenging stress in life is in the world of mental health, that all of us, including the three of us, struggle with at times, right? With not just giving up or finding shortcuts, right? Like, you can still have somebody help you, right? Just because somebody helps you doesn't mean that you're not RBA. If you're fighting through, right, and you're trying to get through your circumstance, and you're adjusting and you're working all these hours, and then somebody's like, I see potential in you. Let me help you. Right. You're still RBA at that point. Right.
Right.
So I think, to me, it's a reminder of resiliency and the ability to overcome any obstacle, circumstance that you may find yourself in that you don't want to be in. Right.
Right.
Matt, you look like you want to respond to that.
I just realized something.
Let me add something. Can I add something if you don't mind? Or if you're done.
Go ahead.
So, and that's let me just piggyback off of, like, when I say help, right, which is great the way you put it, you get to the point of where somebody wants to help you, right? You've earned that help. You're not saying, oh, I'm not going to even take the first step, but I want help. That kind of is what that Gen C mentality gets to me. When you said, I want to help this guy because he shows potential, because he's RBA'd it to that point of help me help you. That was beautiful.
So this is on a personal level, people. I just want to say that I just realized all three of us are hard-headed. In the midst of you saying resilient, no, seriously. In the midst of you saying resilience, think of our personal and think of everything before this. Think about how all three of us are hard-headed as well. We make a great brother-sibling trio. So
you can't be RBA without being hard-headed, right? Because RBA is about, if you don't have a strong mind, you can't be RBA.
You're right about
because that. you gotta be. RBA requires discipline, commitment, focus, attention to detail, sacrifice, right? You have to do those things to be RBA to get where you're trying to get.
How about toughness? Toughness. But not a macho man toughness.
Right.
But a resiliency kind of toughness. Perfect. Of, you know what? I might take a hit. I can come back and get up and I'm still swinging, right? I'm not just going to curl up into a ball and run away.
Like you take L after L after L after L after L after L after L, and you just keep coming back, which is respectable.
It was respectable.
Disrespectful, man. Disrespectful.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. I mean, look, the first time we played one-on-one, really, I beat you. I did.
Sure.
We'll have plenty of future episodes where we get to sprinkle in little stories about our basketball games, because I've certainly we've got some stories
We do.
I'm the second
to
best
go
player.
through. We got plenty. But also too, so I would also say too that just having seen it within our small group of people over the years that were coming out and hearing us use it, like it was interesting to see how other people were able to adapt to using it as well to like, oh, RBA, right? Like,
Right.
oh, this, I'm not feeling good today, but you know what? I really got to work, right? RBA.
Right.
I got to get up and do this, right? As much as I love to just lay down in bed all day because I'm just not feeling it.
Right.
I got to get up. Why? Maybe it's for the people I lead, the people I serve, whatever the case is.
Family,
whatever, the
right?
work that just whatever, right? Yeah. Sometimes you just got to be like, RBA, I got to do this.
Bro, I got to tell you, the first time I heard someone say it to me who we didn't introduce it to, bro, that just like, for real, like, what? On the court. I think it was
somebody heard us say it and then like,
and then they found out what it was and they used it, and I was like, yo, wow.
Well, I got a trademark.
It was beautiful. Like, but it made me happy, right? Because that's the mentality, that positive energy and mentality you want to give back.
So that's a perfect segue to my last part, which is I want to ask y'all about the future of RBA, and really, so RBA became the phrase as we started getting into, what we wanted to like name our podcast and how we want to do this. We added the think part, right? Because it's about thinking RBA. It's a mentality. It's a way of just ingraining your mind into building up that resiliency and adaptation to overcome and achieve. So as we're creating Think RBA and thinking about what we want to do, right? Where do we want this to go, and what is our message, right? Ingrained throughout, the fabric of our podcast, our episodes, the interactions that we're going to have moving forward into the future. How does that look for you all?
Man, that's a deep question.
That's a deep question.
And it's a hard one to predict, honestly.
So I'll start.
Okay. Set us off.
I'll start y'all off, so I'll give y'all a little time to think about it.
Sure.
See, look, that's called the assist.
That is the assist.
So for me, personally, I think it's about storytelling. And, where I want this to go, or where I envision this going, is to be able to not just highlight the things that we see in sports and culture that we consider RBA. All right, because there's so many. I mean, there's tons of examples.
Right.
We find stuff now. We'll like message each other, be like, "Oh, that's RBA." Right. We got Kobe and Mike over here, but like just even events and situations, things that happen where, it has an RBA twist to it, but and not just being able to highlight those, but as we continue to, hopefully grow and advance what we're doing, is give the people a platform as well to talk about how everyday people like us, right, are connecting, particularly through sports, right? Because that's how we've all connected through this one ball, right? Lifelong friendships through this one ball. But being able to tell those stories and find people who have, RBA'd it, overcome, whatever, and be able to hear those stories, versus just hearing about triumph from celebrities who, you know what I mean? We get a lot of the podcasts right now, a lot of stuff's focused on that.
That's true.
There's a lot of focused on athlete stories and them, going through things and how they overcame and their mental health, which is great. It's good listening and certainly something we want to explore as well. But I think it's we want to be more inclusive, I mean, and also culturally too, when we're looking at it, we've got a diverse mix of cultures right here between the three of us in this room, right?
Yeah.
And so, and who would have thought, right? not only that we would all like meet, bond over this one thing, but also have more in common. Like,
Yeah.
as much as you and I have had, like, we legitimately are like brothers from another mother.
Bro,
Like,
it's scary.
The way we think, the way we, like, everything is the
Finish
same.
each other's sentence. It's
Right.
crazy. Your thoughts.
You know, I'm like, and you know, we grew up in entirely different ways.
Yeah.
And then you throw in Matt as well. Come to find out, we had a similar connection with where your mom used to work, right?
Rest in peace, Mom.
Rest in peace, right? So like, and who would have thought? Like, small world, right?
Yeah.
And we learned. And when did we learn that? On the basketball court.
Also, I found out he worked with my cousin.
So,
You-
so I mean, you know, but just the point being though is just that it's the fabric of like telling stories of togetherness and overcoming and wanting to be able to hear from people that do that from all walks of life, not just those that have money and the financial means to do it. So that's my bigger vision for that.
Yo, I think my man's needs a tie and a shirt, dude. He's giving professional answers like resiliency and my God. Okay.
Hey, listen, I'll bring out chalices if I need to.
Wow.
We have to let Matt in on that joke later.
I think
He doesn't know about
I think
chalices.
You don't know about chalices?
Nah.
He
He don't-
Did y'all talk about
No.
2 weeks ago?
No.
You learn about chalices.
I'll teach you about chalices one day.
Go ahead, Matt. You go ahead, bro.
I was gonna piggyback off of you, but basically get to the point.
That's one of Matt's catchphrases, by
Get
the
to
way.
point,
To get to the
yes,
point,
yes.
Just a heads up.
or give
Just
you a heads up.
I got a few more, by the way. But the growth is, for me, it's like through community. Ken already pointed to it, but community and getting to know, because in the midst of doing this, I've also been talking to people, and just I can't wait for us to get to that level, and we're just out there with people, and y'all want to meet us and everything else when we get there. But just community aspect right now. Other than that, that's about it.
No,
Yeah.
nice and
No,
succinct.
I actually really love the fact that he used the word community, because that's the word I was searching for that I couldn't find back in my head, is community and building a community, because we all have things in our lives that we're really good at, right? We have things that we're not so good at, right? We have strengths, weaknesses, and we have things that are challenges to us, right? That we want to overcome, and our own things that we need to RBA it, right? And building a community of people who share that same mindset and resiliency to be able to do that, to help each other, to encourage each other, right? Through it, right? Whether it's, a challenge somebody might be having work wise, maybe that some mentorship from somebody else could help with, or if it's, with your health, right? Like, that's a personal RBA for me. And I know Matt, we try to encourage each other on, but building the community to do that and have those conversations about it, and hear from people with different perspectives and, and things that they can offer to add value to the conversation.
So, can I just say ditto?
I was going to ask you, because I know
No. I got it.
you probably got like one thing to say, but like, you know what? They said everything else.
I got you, bro. I got you.
I didn't even get the ball. No, I'm good.
You gotta earn the ball. Just messing with you.
Yeah, man, it's
Just
nice knowing
messing
y'all.
with you. So, what I see as the future of how you guys so eloquently put it, keeping in terms of the chalices. So, what I see RBA transforming to or growing to as the future is similar, right? Community, connecting to people, relating to people through storytelling, building that community, and then bringing those people in, because there's a person who is RBAing every single day, somewhere, somehow, in whatever situation they're in, shining a light on that person, right? Celebs, athletes, whatever, they can get light whenever they want. People go and tune in and listen to that story. But what about that mother who's working, 2-3 shifts with daughters in daycare, trying to struggle to make ends meet and this and that. That's RBA to me, right? The unsung hero. Like the people out there who got bread, who got it's cool. Good for you. You earned it. Respect to you.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that's struggling, right? That's the common everyday man. And that's who I would like to see RBA shine a light on, help if possible.
And I was about to say that was
right?
bro, like
right.
I was about to say and how can we build a community that could then help that person?
Correct, right? And so that to me, like, that's RBA. That's true RBA to me. Yeah, it's nice to go out and you make a name for yourself. That's nice, right? But what I believe, like, true currency is helping the everyday man, helping your the person that doesn't have anybody. And I'm not saying go help them like RBA. Hey, let me just give you $100,000. No. Show potential. I see potential in this person. He's grinding. She's grinding. Like she's making ends meet.
So let's just talk briefly about some of the things, because some of these are going to be future topics we talk about anyway, of how we're already starting to do that or have been starting to do that, because we've got Matt who mentors, right, in the school system, and you and I are both working on volunteer youth sports coaching.
Yes, sir.
So I've taught basketball and football now. You've taught basketball. I've got another football league coming up in about a month and 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And just continuing to be able to give back in that way, with starting with the youth, is and help them to hear that
instilling
RBA.
that mindset early.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing with that is, I really like. RBA doesn't have to be this grand scale. I donated $1 million to some foundation. No, that's not RBA.
That don't help because it's about. I get what you're going at.
RBA is the little things. Are you helping just the little things, like the everyday things, the things that don't hit the camera, right? That's RBA. RBA isn't meant to be, oh, look at our, we donated, we built a wing at this hospital. That's all right. That's cool. Like eventually, yeah, sure. But it's all the little steps along that way is in what, in my opinion, is true RBA. Right? The end product is nice, but the journey is even better. And that's what I'm looking forward to, is that journey to creating all that, more so than even the end goal. That's.
So basically, y'all can correct me on the story if I'm wrong or not, but basically what we're saying is we're not handing anybody a fish. We're going to teach you how to fish.
Well, it's not even us teaching
Right.
how to fish, because
Right.
we can't be experts on everything in life.
We don't know how to fish.
The point is about building a community of people who everybody brings different perspectives and points of views and skill sets and ideas or whatnot to the table, where we can all help each other, right? That's what a community does.
And even if it's just simple brainstorming, right? You share an idea. Like, we learn so much about each other and how to improve certain things in our lives just through conversation. Conversation is powerful. Sharing information is powerful. Like, I dislike it so much when people withhold information and don't share it with others to help them, uplift them. Because, I look at it this way, like karma, right? I want someone to share more information with me to help me uplift me. Like, there's no, like, just the top.
Right.
Even the best are trying to learn.
Right.
So we have to help each other as a community to uplift each other to get to that point. That's RBA.
Right. So, fellas, any last parting words before we go ahead and make this one a wrap and get ready for our next episode? So we're gonna have some. So this preface this though, that I don't need the ball. You can hold the ball. The ball is gonna be permanently back up on the shelf, and it's gonna be part of our set permanently as a reminder to how this all came about. So there's going to be some heavy episodes, some serious episodes. There's going to be some fun episodes, lighthearted games, talk about some current things that are going on, right? It's going to be a little combination of everything focused on sports culture, things that are happening in the world with the RBA twist to it. And so, with that, any last parting words before we go ahead and sign off for this episode?
Other than peace, love, and happiness, no, not at all.
All right. Once again, young Matthew, Hack, Ken,
Think RBA.
Think RBA. Till next time. Peace.